Narcissists are demons in disguise. How God reveals their true nature. Have you ever felt the unsettling presence of a narcissist? Someone who seems charming, alluring, and even powerful, only to later realize that beneath that mask lies something dark and sinister. It's as if they are an enigma wrapped in mystery, creating confusion and pain wherever they go. It's not just a feeling, it's a truth that many have come to recognize. Narcissists can be seen as demons in disguise, with an ability to manipulate and destroy lives, leaving chaos in their wake. But the deeper question remains: how does God reveal their true nature? Is there a higher force at play, uncovering the darkness within these individuals? The truth is far more profound than we may initially understand. In this video, we will explore how narcissists operate, the harm they cause, and how divine insight can reveal their true nature. Their behavior isn't just a psychological disorder. It can often be seen as something far more spiritual in nature. Many individuals who have encountered narcissists feel as though they were manipulated by a force greater than the person they thought they knew. Understanding the spiritual dimensions of narcissism, how it connects to demonic energy, and the way God unveils the truth is essential in navigating interactions with these toxic personalities. Before we dive deep into the topic, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might need this insight. As we explore the deeper connections between narcissistic behavior and spiritual warfare, this could be the revelation someone has been waiting for. So grab a seat and let's begin uncovering the layers of this complex issue. When we think of narcissists, the first image that often pops into our minds is one of someone who is self-absorbed, excessively preoccupied with their own image, and constantly seeking validation from others. While this image isn't entirely inaccurate, it only scratches the surface of what a narcissist truly is. Beneath this seemingly superficial exterior lies a far more complex and often destructive personality. At their core, narcissists are individuals who rely on external sources of admiration to prop up their fragile sense of self-worth. They need constant praise and approval to maintain their illusion of perfection, but this is not simply about vanity. It's about a deep insecurity that they desperately try to hide. What's often overlooked in this portrayal is the narcissist's ability to manipulate and control others. This ability is often cloaked in a veneer of charm and charisma that can be almost magnetic. Narcissists have a way of drawing people in, making them feel special, seen, and important. They present themselves as the perfect partner, friend, or colleague, effortlessly captivating everyone around them with their dazzling personalities and apparent confidence. For a time, it can feel like they are exactly what we need, like they are the missing piece to our lives. But, as is often the case, cracks begin to appear. Their true nature starts to show through, and what once seemed like a perfect relationship or connection starts to feel hollow, even draining. At the heart of narcissism is an insatiable hunger for admiration and external validation. This need is not a passing desire, but a driving force that shapes their every move. The narcissist will go to great lengths, even manipulating and exploiting others, to maintain the facade they've built. But behind this need to uphold their image lies a deep-seated insecurity, a fear that they are unworthy, inadequate, and inferior. These vulnerabilities are buried beneath layers of manipulation, emotional abuse, and deceit, making it hard for others to see the true self beneath the mask. While they often project an image of confidence, superiority, or even godlike qualities, the reality is that these individuals are spiritually bankrupt. Narcissists are disconnected from their authentic selves, and this disconnection leaves them feeling empty. To fill this void, they manipulate and control others, using them as a source of validation to temporarily stave off their feelings of inadequacy. This is where things begin to take a more spiritual turn. If you've ever found yourself in the presence of a narcissist, there's often something that feels off about the situation. It's more than just their erratic or controlling behavior. It's a sense that something is dark lurking just beneath the surface. This feeling isn't just a product of our imagination. It's an intuitive response to the toxic energy that narcissists often emanate. There is something inherently destructive about narcissism, something that mirrors the qualities of demonic forces. Deception, manipulation, control, and destruction seem to follow them wherever they go. The narcissist may appear to be an angel in disguise, seemingly perfect and benevolent on the outside, but underneath, their actions are driven by a desire to corrupt, degrade, and ultimately destroy. While they may seem charming and alluring at first, their true nature is far darker. If narcissists are, in essence, demons in disguise, the question then becomes, how can we recognize their true nature? How can we see past the facade they so carefully craft? The answer, often, lies in spiritual discernment. Spiritual discernment is the ability to look beyond surface-level appearances and to perceive the deeper motivations that guide a person's actions. It's easy to get swept up in the narcissist's charm and charisma, to buy into their promises and their image of perfection. But spiritual discernment allows us to see the cracks in their facade and to recognize the underlying darkness that drives them. It's through this lens of discernment that we can start to untangle the web of manipulation and deceit that narcissists weave so skillfully. One of the most powerful gifts God gives us in this process is intuition. Often, when we are around narcissists, we can sense that something isn't right, even if we can't quite put our finger on it. It's a feeling of unease, an emotional discomfort that we can't explain. We may feel anxious, drained, or confused in their presence, but we don't know why. This intuitive sense is a gift from God, a signal that we are in the presence of something toxic, something that seeks to harm us. It's not always easy to trust our intuition, especially when the narcissist's charm is so powerful. But learning to listen to this inner knowing can be a crucial part of protecting ourselves from their influence. As we go through life, God provides us with countless opportunities to learn and grow. Narcissists often come into our lives at pivotal moments, not just by chance, but as a way of teaching us valuable lessons. These lessons are often difficult and painful, but they serve to strengthen us spiritually. When we find ourselves faced with the narcissist's manipulation and deceit, it's an opportunity to learn about the importance of boundaries, self-worth, and spiritual growth. God's presence in these moments reminds us of the need to protect our energy, our spirit, and our emotional well-being. Through these painful experiences, we develop stronger discernment, learning how to spot the subtle energies of others and how to safeguard ourselves against the harmful forces at play. Another way that God reveals the true nature of narcissists is through the consequences they eventually face. While narcissists may seem to skate by for a while, seemingly untouched by the destruction they leave in their wake, the truth is that their actions inevitably catch up to them. Their manipulations and abuses might seem to have no immediate repercussions, but God's justice is always at work. Whether it comes in the form of broken relationships, a loss of power, or divine retribution, narcissists cannot escape the consequences of their actions forever. They may believe they can outsmart the universe or evade the truth, but eventually their actions will have consequences. In time, the mask will slip, and they will be exposed for who they truly are. This is the divine law at work. God's justice will always prevail, even if it takes time for the truth to come to light. Narcissists may appear invincible, as though they are above the natural law of cause and effect, untouchable by the consequences of their actions. To those of us caught in their web, it can feel like they are immune to any sort of justice or reckoning. This illusion of invulnerability is where the concept of spiritual warfare enters the picture. When we become entangled in relationships with narcissists, we are often unknowingly pulled into a battle that goes far beyond the physical or psychological. This is not just about emotional manipulation or control over our actions. It is a deeper, more insidious struggle for control over our very spirit. The narcissist's tactics go beyond hurting us emotionally. They aim to diminish our very essence, to drain the light from within us, to make us feel insignificant and small, and to strip away our sense of self-worth. This struggle, however, is not just psychological or emotional, it is fundamentally spiritual. Narcissists employ a variety of manipulative and controlling tactics that mirror the behaviors of dark and destructive forces. These behaviors are designed to target the most vulnerable aspects of who we are, our desires for love, acceptance, and validation. They exploit our natural human need for connection and understanding, using it against us to gain control over our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's this deeply spiritual dimension of narcissism that makes it so perilous and dangerous. Dealing with a narcissist is not merely about setting boundaries with someone who is emotionally manipulative. It is about protecting our soul from being consumed by their toxic and draining energy. They do not just want to control our actions. They want to control our very essence, to take away our sense of who we are, and leave us in a state of emotional and spiritual decay. In the face of this kind of spiritual attack, it is crucial that we recognize that God provides guidance in many forms to help us resist and fight against these negative forces. One of the most important tools we are given in this battle is the power of prayer. Through prayer, we are able to seek divine strength and clarity, asking for protection from the narcissist's toxic energy. Faith is another essential tool in this battle. It is through our faith in God and in the belief that He will guide us that we are able to find the courage to walk away from these toxic relationships. We must understand that the narcissist's actions are not just personal attacks on us. They are attacks on the divine plan for our lives. Narcissists seek to keep us trapped in cycles of fear, confusion, and self-doubt, preventing us from fulfilling the purpose that God has laid out for us. But God's light is always present, illuminating the truth and helping us to see these individuals for who they really are, beyond the charming facade they project. One of the most profound truths about narcissistic behavior is that no matter how much they try to manipulate, deceive, or charm their way into our lives, narcissists cannot escape who they truly are. They can put on the most convincing act, trying to maintain an image of perfection and invincibility, but deep down they are running from their own inner truth. No matter how much they try to convince themselves or others that they are something they are not, the darkness within them will eventually surface. This darkness will always manifest in their abusive behavior, their inconsistency, or their eventual downfall. The narcissist may try to outrun their true self, but they can never fully escape it. It is this truth that eventually catches up with them, as the emptiness and despair they carry inside will inevitably emerge in destructive ways. The life of a narcissist is marked by a constant battle against their own inner demons. While they may attempt to mask their shame, insecurities, and vulnerabilities with a facade of superiority, these feelings are always present, haunting them from within. It is this deep emptiness that drives them to seek out power, control, and validation from others. They seek to manipulate and dominate those around them to fill the void they feel inside. But no amount of manipulation, charm, or control can ever truly fill that void. It is a spiritual emptiness, a hole in their soul that can never be healed by external means. They may try to fill it with praise, admiration, or dominance over others, but nothing can satisfy the deep longing they have for true healing and wholeness. Ultimately, it is only through self-awareness and divine intervention that this emptiness can be addressed. But narcissists often reject these paths of healing. They refuse to confront the truth of their inner emptiness and instead continue to seek external validation in an endless cycle of manipulation and destruction. This constant internal struggle, the clash between their desire for control and the emptiness they cannot escape, defines the narcissist's existence. They are forever running from their own soul's truth, but in the process, they leave a trail of destruction behind them. For those of us who find ourselves caught in their web, it is essential to remember that we are not just fighting a battle on the surface level. It is a spiritual war that requires divine strength, discernment, and the protection of God's light. Only through these tools can we shield ourselves from the toxic energy of the narcissist and prevent our spirits from being consumed by their darkness. In conclusion, narcissists are not just difficult people to deal with. They are a reflection of darker spiritual forces at work in the world. By understanding how God reveals their true nature, we can better protect ourselves from their toxic influence. Through discernment, faith, and the strength to walk away, we can free ourselves from the manipulation and control they seek to impose. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who may be going through similar experiences. Recognizing the spiritual dimensions of narcissistic behavior can be a powerful step in reclaiming your life and your energy. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the narcissist's true nature, and may you always be guided by the light of truth and protection. 6 undeniable signs narcissists are influenced by demons. Have you ever wondered if there's more to a narcissist's behavior than just personality flaws? Could the manipulation, chaos, and destruction they leave in their wake be driven by something far more sinister? In this video, we're diving deep into a perspective that may surprise you, revealing 6 undeniable signs that narcissists might be influenced by demonic forces. By the end of this discussion, you'll have a clearer understanding of how spiritual elements could be at play and how they may manifest through a narcissist's actions. Before we dive in, if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the complex dynamics of human behavior and spiritual influence. Let's get started and uncover the truth behind these signs. Number 1. The darker side of narcissism and spiritual influence. When you think about narcissism, the immediate association is often with behaviors like manipulation, gaslighting, and an insatiable need for control. These traits can leave you feeling drained, questioning your own reality, and doubting your worth. The emotional and psychological toll of dealing with a narcissist can be overwhelming, often leading to prolonged confusion and self-doubt. But what if these actions stem from something deeper than just emotional wounds or psychological conditioning? What if there's an undercurrent of spiritual influence fueling these destructive patterns? Throughout history, traits such as pride, deception, and the sowing of discord have been closely associated with dark demonic forces. In many spiritual teachings, these qualities are seen not just as human flaws, but as manifestations of a deeper spiritual battle. Could it be that the narcissist's relentless need for power, their calculated destruction of relationships, and their ability to thrive in chaos align with these ancient interpretations of evil? Narcissists often exude a magnetic charm that draws people in, only to later reveal their true nature through manipulation and control. This duality, appearing alluring on the surface while harboring destructive intentions, mirrors descriptions of spiritual entities known to deceive and ensnare. The narcissist's actions can feel like more than just human dysfunction. They may resonate as part of a larger, more sinister force that thrives on confusion and chaos. Number 2, the web of manipulation and deception. Imagine engaging in what begins as a simple conversation with a narcissist. At first, everything seems straightforward, even pleasant. But as the discussion unfolds, you find your words twisted, your intentions misinterpreted, and your confidence eroded. Before long, you're apologizing for something you didn't even do. This experience goes beyond mere miscommunication. It feels calculated, almost as if it's orchestrated to undermine you. This deliberate manipulation often feels like the work of a dark force operating in the background, weaving a web of confusion designed to trap you. Narcissists are masters of using manipulation and deception as tools to maintain control, and their tactics often leave you questioning your own reality. This behavior echoes descriptions of spiritual warfare, where lies and deceit are powerful weapons used to destabilize and dominate. Scriptures like John 8:44 describe the father of lies as a force that twists truth and uses deception to achieve its ends. The narcissist, in their relentless pursuit of control, mirrors this role in how they manipulate and distort reality. Their ability to gaslight and confuse their victims creates a sense of helplessness, leaving you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and disorientation. This isn't just about control in the earthly sense. It feels as though it taps into something far more insidious. Narcissists thrive in their ability to distort perceptions, creating an environment where their version of reality becomes the only truth. They carefully construct scenarios where their victims feel isolated, alienated, and desperate for clarity. This process isn't random. It's a calculated effort to ensure they maintain dominance, a strategy that feels eerily aligned with descriptions of malevolent forces at work. Number 3, spiritual blindness and hardened hearts. Have you ever tried reasoning with a narcissist, only to find yourself met with unrelenting denial, cold indifference, or outright hostility? No matter how carefully or clearly you articulate your thoughts, they refuse to acknowledge the pain they've caused or take responsibility for their actions. It's as though a wall separates them from the truth, a barrier that no amount of logic or emotional appeal can break through. This resistance goes far beyond defiance or stubbornness. It feels like a profound spiritual blindness, a condition that renders them incapable of self-awareness or genuine accountability. In spiritual teachings, this phenomenon is often linked to a hardening of the heart, a state in which individuals become so consumed by their selfishness and pride that they are unable to perceive the truth. In 2 Corinthians 4:4, the God of this world is said to blind the minds of unbelievers, preventing them from seeing the light of truth. Similarly, the narcissist's inability to recognize their own flaws and wrongdoings appears to be a form of spiritual blindness that keeps them ensnared in cycles of selfishness and denial. This blindness is not just an absence of insight, it's an active resistance to truth, a refusal to see beyond their own needs and desires. The narcissist's hardened heart creates a fortress around their ego, shielding them from the vulnerability required for genuine growth and change. They reject accountability, dismiss the harm they cause, and project their flaws onto others, all while remaining deeply entrenched in their delusions of superiority. This spiritual blindness not only prevents them from connecting authentically with others, but also traps them in a perpetual state of inner turmoil. Number 4. A life of division and chaos. Wherever a narcissist goes, there seems to be a trail of disorder left in their wake. Family gatherings, once filled with laughter and connection, can quickly spiral into heated conflicts. Friendships, which were once built on mutual respect, start to unravel, and any sense of peace becomes a distant memory. It almost feels as though chaos is instinctively drawn to them, following them like a shadow. While this behavior might appear to be nothing more than an unfortunate part of their personality, it's actually a reflection of something much deeper, an ongoing spiritual struggle that the narcissist is largely unaware of. Narcissists thrive in environments where they can exert control, and their presence often distorts the natural harmony that once existed within relationships. This constant turmoil isn't simply a result of their actions. It's part of a larger spiritual dynamic. Spiritual darkness, as many religious traditions suggest, feeds on division. It seeks to separate people, foster distrust, and create an atmosphere of confusion. Narcissists are often used as unwitting instruments of this darker force, employing tactics like manipulation, gaslighting, and triangulation to turn people against each other. This creates discord wherever they go, and the damage is often widespread, affecting families, workplaces, and communities. John 10:10 warns that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. This scripture can be seen as a warning about how spiritual darkness operates, and narcissists, whether knowingly or unknowingly, often serve this purpose. They tear down relationships and communities, leaving behind broken trust and fractured connections. The chaos they create isn't accidental. It is the natural result of their need for control, and it reflects a deeper, more destructive force at work. The narcissist's actions may seem driven by selfishness, but there is often a larger spiritual struggle at play, one that seeks to undermine unity and peace. Number 5. Bitterness and unforgiveness as tools of control. One of the most disturbing aspects of narcissistic behavior is their tendency to cling to grudges and harbor deep-seated resentment. Even when they claim to forgive, it's clear that the bitterness never truly leaves them. They may put on a front of forgiveness, but internally they hold on to the past wounds, allowing the anger and resentment to fester. This isn't just an emotional issue. It's a spiritual one that holds them in a perpetual state of bondage. Unforgiveness, especially when it's allowed to take root, can have a powerful and damaging effect on an individual's spirit. For narcissists, this bitterness is not something they simply forget or let go of. Instead, it becomes a part of their identity, something they nurture and protect, like an eternal flame that burns within them. The refusal to forgive keeps them chained to their past hurts and fuels their toxic behavior. Their bitterness can even become a tool of control, as they use past grievances to manipulate others and maintain power over those around them. Ephesians 4:26 cautions against letting anger fester, reminding us that allowing such emotions to linger gives the devil a foothold. In the case of narcissists, their refusal to forgive creates a spiritual stronghold, one that only strengthens their connection to the darkness that fuels their destructive behavior. This refusal to forgive doesn't just isolate them from others, it drives them further into a cycle of self-destruction. Their inability to let go of past wrongs keeps them trapped in their own bitterness, preventing any real healing or growth. Number 6. Distortion of spiritual truths. One of the most disturbing and insidious traits of narcissists is their ability to manipulate spiritual teachings to serve their own selfish agendas. Rather than seeking spiritual growth or enlightenment, they twist sacred principles to justify their own behavior and control others. Narcissists often use spiritual language to demand forgiveness without repentance, placing the blame on others for their own actions. They may even accuse those who set healthy boundaries of being unloving or selfish, manipulating the very concept of love to suit their needs. This distortion of spiritual truths isn't just a misunderstanding of religious teachings, It's an active and deliberate manipulation of what is good and pure for personal gain. Narcissists know that spirituality can be a powerful tool to influence and control others, and they exploit it for their own purposes. They twist scripture, bend truths, and pervert sacred teachings to suit their needs, often using them as weapons to justify their toxic behaviors and gain the upper hand in relationships. This manipulation of spiritual truths is eerily similar to the actions of Satan as depicted in Matthew 4, where he twisted scripture in an attempt to tempt Jesus. Just as Satan sought to pervert the truth for his own gain, narcissists engage in a similar process, using spiritual teachings to manipulate and control those around them. Their ultimate goal is not just to dominate in the physical realm, but to pervert what is sacred and good, turning it into a tool for their own personal gain. This tactic is a hallmark of spiritual darkness and serves to further entrench them in their destructive path. By distorting spiritual truths, narcissists reveal the deeper, darker influence at play in their lives. Their actions go beyond mere control. They represent an effort to corrupt and manipulate what is holy and true, turning it into a weapon to achieve their goals. This misuse of sacred teachings is a clear indication that something much more sinister is at work, a force that seeks to use the narcissist as a pawn in a larger spiritual battle. If you've ever been entangled in a relationship with a narcissist, you know the emotional, psychological, and spiritual toll it can take. While understanding these behaviors through psychological frameworks is important, recognizing the potential spiritual roots offers a new perspective. By addressing both the seen and unseen forces at play, you can better protect yourself and navigate these challenging dynamics. Thank you for taking the time to explore this thought-provoking topic with me. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to support this platform and stay updated on future content. Together, we can continue to uncover the deeper truths behind human behavior and spiritual influence. Narcissists are demons in disguise. How God reveals their true nature.